70 for high again. So gorgeous weather. Here is the gorge. This is from the Dalles, looking back at Mount Hood from the Oregon Veterans Home camera. It's 40 degrees with a light wind. Notice the wind direction is still east. And by the time you get to the west end of the gorge, gusty winds to 30 miles per hour have been blowing in Troutdale. Not bad in downtown. We don't have much of a breeze, maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. You look at a clear sky morning, and the Tilcomb Crossing catching some of the early morning sunrise there from the Portland Spirit Landing. 51 is the number out at the airport, 43 in Salem, 40 out in the Dalles we saw. Still in the 20s out in Burns and Baker City, 50s at the coast this morning. The coast forecast. This gives Tillamook and Astoria up to 70, 71, and Pacific City 71. The wind direction today will eventually later on, including out in the gorge, kick to the west. So later today, east winds that have been blowing will start to calm, and then those winds will flip to the west. This shows upper 70s in the valley. Shows upper 70s again today in southwest Washington. So take advantage. I mean, could this be the last back-to-back 70-degree weather of the entire year? Possible, right? 60s tomorrow, but dry, and then shower chances start Thursday, likely on Friday, rain at times over the weekend. Here's Chris.
That's kind of a bummer.
Well,
Don't
possible,
talk like
right? Yeah.
Might be. It's fall. All right, hey, back to your I-5 drive. We've got some new trouble now on I-5 southbound. The drive-in from Clark County, by the way, about 30 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. This is live at Columbia Boulevard. Looks like we've got some folks tangled up in a fender bender here on the shoulder, and that's adding to some of the local slowing. So that's the live look at Columbia. We'll take you back towards SR 500, and we're basically slow and steady from that part of town on southward. Also, over on the west side, we've got the blinding sunshine, a nice problem to have, right, on a Tuesday morning. That's likely adding to this elevated drive time now. It's taken folks about 41 minutes to get in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel, and I'm not sure why we're going back up here. That's not where I wanted to go. Well, in any event, that's what I-5 looks like up near SR 500. Freeways are getting busy. Drew, we are into the heart of our Tuesday morning commute. We'll stay on top of it for you.
All right, thank you, Chris. A medical helicopter crashes on a California highway, leaving 3 people critically hurt. We'll have that story and other national headlines for you when Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, continues.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and tonight at 6:30 on The Story, if you live anywhere near South Portland, you know about the helicopters circling the ice building, who they belong to, and what, if anything, can be done about all the noise. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Here's a look at some national headlines this morning with your morning rush. We know 3 people are in critical condition after a medical helicopter crashed onto a California freeway last night. There wasn't a patient on board, but the pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic were all hurt. It's not clear yet what caused the crash. The CDC signed off on new COVID vaccine guidelines that recommend anyone 65 or older only get the vaccine after they consult with a doctor or a pharmacist. Foster Farms is recalling nearly 4 million pounds of chicken corn dogs because the USDA says they may contain pieces of wood in the batter. Several people have already reported having issues because of this. Customers can return the product for a refund. And last headline here, Cyndi Lauper is heading to Las Vegas. The singer announced her first residency at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, which will run from late April to early May. Tickets go on sale this week. She'll also, by the way, be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame coming up in November. And that's a look at your morning rush. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise, we'll have the latest on the National Guard's deployment to Portland and other cities, as President Trump suggests a new effort to get boots on the ground. And later, Taylor Swift's brand new movie raked in millions of dollars during its one and only weekend in theaters. How she's setting records even Prince couldn't hit. Again, that story coming up for you in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise right here on KGW+.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:59 on your Tuesday morning drive, slow and steady out of Clark County, specifically I-5, 32 minutes now. Your drive time to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. This isn't helping. A little fender bender action right now on southbound I-5. That's near Columbia Boulevard, so that's adding to the thick drive through North Portland. We'll switch gears. All the drive times are climbing now. We are in the heart of the morning commute, and the slowest of them, the inbound Sunset, and that's probably why, Rod. I blame you. Sun glare on the inbound Sunset.
I accept the blame. Won't be long, you'll be blaming me because the roads are really, really wet, right? Here's our Salem sky camera, clear skies. It's going to be a beautiful day like it was yesterday. And here in the Willamette Valley in Southwest Washington, temperatures will be pretty similar. Right now, 47 in Salem. And let's see what PDX is now reporting, a temperature of 50, clear skies in downtown. We still have east winds gusting to 30 out near the gorge and breezy in other spots. But here come the temps, 67 at noon, 77 at 5 p.m. We think we could hit 78, which is what we did yesterday, by the way.
With all due respect to that judge, I think her opinion is untethered in reality.
Now on KGW Plus, The latest on the legal battle over the National Guard's deployment to Portland. We're going to have more as President Trump tries to get around some of the court rulings to land troops here in Portland and in other U.S. cities. Plus,
we cannot let another deal collapse.
New hope for peace in the Middle East. Israel and Hamas coming together to try to close the gap. They're working on a peace plan put together by President Trump. We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
We're currently tracking a verified stolen with charges of reckless and elude.
We'll also have more on this video that shows a dramatic police pursuit that crossed the Columbia River. We'll tell you all about the charges that the driver behind the wheel of that car is now facing. And later.
I know the life of a showgirl, babe.
We know that Taylor Swift is topping the charts with her album, right? But she's also #1 at the box office. Everything the woman touches turns to gold. We're going to have more on her new film that debuted at #1, bringing in millions of dollars. What's behind that success and how she's even outpacing the late, great Prince at this point. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Drew Carney. China Green has the morning off. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis, though, are ready to go at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Rodney.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Do you agree everything that Taylor Swift touches turns to gold?
What if we could get her to agree? It could even be over Zoom, but just sing for us live on our show every Tuesday. Could you imagine how many people would tune in to watch our show? It would
They
be
still
so
wouldn't know our
exciting.
names. They still wouldn't know who the heck we are, but they're like,
They know her.
The show that has Taylor Swift.
Those three dudes that hang out with Taylor.
The three of us would we would stage it so somehow we could be in the background behind Taylor. And then that would obviously be our claim to fame. Here's our Schnuckwitz Casino Resort camera. Drew seems a little skeptical. Beautiful sunshine out there, clear skies. 70s yesterday at the beach. Could be 70 again today. Just perfect weather. You can see some of the slow crawl on I-5 downtown Portland right now. Rose City camera, clear skies. 50 is the number. Looks like it's pretty quiet. I don't see the flags moving at all in front of Lincoln High School out the window that I'm standing by this morning. So not much wind in downtown. We do have 30-mile-per-hour gusts out near the gorge in Troutdale. 67 to noon, especially if you don't live in an area where it's somewhat windy. It's just going to be perfect. 77 at 5 o'clock. Here's Chris.
Rod, it's bright.
Yes.
It's sunny. Another morning where never mind the sunglasses, a welder's mask is needed for that eastbound commute. This is the live look out near Murray Boulevard eastbound up towards Cedar Hills and the Sylvan Hills. So that, of course, is adding to the slowing. And it is the drive time fun meter here is creeping up quickly. 46 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough. No problems, just bright, sunny, and slow. I-84 westbound, about 32 minutes now to get you in from Troutdale. I-5 from Wilsonville, traffic building there as well. And last but not least in North Portland, Portland police now arriving on this fender bender. This is up near Columbia Boulevard. The southbound left lane is blocked, and so that's adding to the fun out of Clark County right now. 33 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top news story here this morning, the latest on President Trump's moves to deploy the National Guard to Portland. We know that National Guard troops have mobilized to Camp Withicum. If you're not familiar, that's a military facility in Happy Valley, but deployment of those troops is on hold after 2 rulings from a federal judge this past weekend. So now the question is whether or not the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals will flip that decision or let the judge's ruling stand. Yesterday, President Trump said he would consider getting around the court rulings by using the country's Insurrection Act, which would grant him emergency powers to deploy troops. While that's happening in D.C., officials here in Portland are accusing federal officers of using excessive force on some of the people protesting outside the city's ICE facility. The crowd outside the ICE facility last night was actually a little bit larger than we've seen on a regular weeknight. We saw about 150 protesters and counter-protesters gathered there. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is live outside the facility this morning. So Thomas, I know that crowd got smaller as we got closer to sunrise. Has it picked up at all?
Yeah, Drew, it's about the same size as it has been throughout the morning. We're seeing a little bit more activity, so it's probably fair to assume that it probably in the next couple of hours may pick up just a bit here. But as of right now, it's still a dozen or 2 dozen people. Now, last night, our crew saw 2 people get detained here. They even saw federal agents come out of the building, detain 1 person before going back in. It's unclear why that person was detained. Portland police made an arrest as well last night. It happened around 5:15. when they arrested a Tennessee man connected to a harassment incident on Sunday. This comes after a federal judge ruled over the weekend the Trump administration could not deploy Oregon's National Guard to Portland, or, for that matter, the National Guard from any state to Portland, drawing anger from White House officials.
With all due respect to that judge, I think her opinion is untethered in reality and in the law. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief.
Now, President Trump has pushed to send troops to the ICE facility in South Portland, where he claims protesters have waged an insurrection. Though over the summer, protests here have been relatively small. Since June, the U.S. Attorney's Office says 30 people have been charged with federal crimes at the facility. And Oregon state leaders like Attorney General Dan Rayfield say the judge's ruling draws a line in the sand.
There's a reason that we don't accept having the military on our streets. It's un-American. It's not what the framers of our Constitution intended. That's something you'd expect to see in a third world country, and we'll fight to maintain that sense of normalcy.
And look, once again out here live, it's pretty calm. There's been people going to work in the ICE facility right behind us. People have also been lining up, presumably for appointments at the facility. Again, there are a few protesters milling around. We've shown you a camp they have all morning long, but it's been very tranquil. No actual protests happening so far this morning. That's, of course, something we'll continue to monitor throughout the day. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz live outside the ICE facility in South Portland. Meanwhile, an attorney for the city of Portland sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice claiming that federal officers are using excessive force against peaceful protesters. The letter accuses agents at the ICE facility of shoving veterans and other older people to the ground. It also addresses the use of pepper spray and impact munitions like rubber bullets on the crowd. One protester who we have seen dressed in an inflatable frog costume says that he has been pepper sprayed by federal agents.
And somebody fell in the process, and I was in the process of helping that comrade up. It's in the video, and the ICE agent, DHS agent, I should say, got behind me and sprayed into my air vent. To be honest, I had a headache for a while.
The video we showed you there clearly supporting that story. The letter from the city's attorney also alleges that the federal government is targeting demonstrators based on their political beliefs. And it says that federal officers favor people who agree with the Trump administration. Portland Police Chief Bob Day continues to say that National Guard troops are not needed at the city's ICE facility. On the latest episode of KGW Straight Talk with Stephanie Domerat, Chief Day also noted that there has been a significant jump in activity outside the facility here in the past week and a half. Taking a look at more of that story right here, he also told Stephanie that there's a lot to be covered here. He says that social media and influencers are inflaming the situation. Stephanie asked the chief about recent comments from the Trump administration that suggest Portland police are making partisan arrests.
The reality is that we're not paying attention to the left or right conversation. We're paying attention to behaviors, and we're paying attention to what the law allows. All of our arrests are based on probable cause.
Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield also appeared on the latest episode of Straight Talk. He says his office has been preparing for the recent events outside the Portland ICE facility ever since President Trump's inauguration. You can watch Straight Talk, by the way, anytime on our free TV app, KGW+. Keep it right here on KGW for continuing coverage of the deployment of the National Guard to Portland. We'll have all the latest for you here on Plus and also online at KGW.com. Former Oregon State Senator Daniel Bonham has been nominated as an assistant to the U.S. Labor Secretary. Bonham had been Oregon's Senate Republican leader until he announced his resignation last month. That resignation officially took effect this past weekend. If he's confirmed, Bonham will serve under U.S. Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Italy says it's going to have 4 flag bearers for the opening ceremony of next year's Winter Olympics. The cities of Milan and Cortina are sharing host duties next February. So the main opening ceremony will take place in Milan on February 6th, and there will also be a smaller ceremony that night in Cortina with 2 flag bearers in each city. The Olympic flame, by the way, begins its journey to Italy on November 26th in Greece and is expected to arrive in Rome on December 4th. All right, Rob, what's the latest for us in the Weather Center?
Yeah, I found a camera that I believe has some frost on the ground. We've had frosty mornings over in Central Oregon already this morning, or this fall in general, and out east, Burns and Baker City both in the 20s. Hood River reports a temperature of 36. This is in Carson on the Washington side of the gorge, but in the central gorge. This is Elk Ridge Golf Course, and I would say that is frost on the ground. This is, if you know the golf course, that's the second hole. So perhaps some frost delays out there. It's certainly that time of year. Beautiful clear skies out in the gorge, where east winds will start to ease today and flip around to the west. And that will open the door for generally a cool down across much of our state in the coming days. Today it's still going to be warm. It's still going to be perfectly clear. Here's the Vancouver, the springs at the waterfront. So we started in Carson, and now we'll zip down the Columbia River to Vancouver. Temperature is 48 degrees right now. No wind reported there. It's 50 in Tigard, 52 in Wilsonville, 43 up in Battleground. Notice the 61 in Gresham and 60 in Troutdale. That's because of east winds that have been gusting between 20 and 30 miles per hour in that area. But no wind in downtown Portland to speak of. 47 is the temperature in Salem. So yesterday, we were 74 in Astoria. We were 78, 79, 77. Mostly between Vancouver and Salem. And this shows 77 Kelso, 80 in Eugene. So very warm again. 60s to about 70 for a high at the coast. Really nice day. Bend 77 and some 70-degree temperatures out across the east side. Tomorrow still dry, but cooler because the easterlies will be gone. The west breezes come in, 66. Shower chances begin Thursday. Friday's the first likely shower day, meaning more widespread rain. Rain at times over the weekend. Here's Chris.
Well, what an awesome looking day today is, right? It's also slow right now on the freeways. Here's a live look at North Portland, I-5 up near the Expo Center. It looks like that might be an ODOT incident responder. So there's a little fender bender just south of here, and that's adding to the slowing out of Clark County. So with that in mind, your 205 drive's not bad, but the I-5 commute, a solid 33 minutes right now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll switch gears real quick. Door number 2 takes us over to the sun glare on the inbound Sunset out near Murray Boulevard. The sun is right in the driver's eyes, so that's adding to some of the slowing there for sure. And door number 4 takes us into Tualatin. There's your I-5 northbound commute near the 205 interchange. That too is pretty thick. So we are in the heart of the busiest part of our morning commute right now, and it shows it. Almost 45 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough, coming up on almost 40 minutes to get you in from Wilsonville.
Thank you, Chris.
We're closing down the tower. Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are going? It's for staffing. Burbank Tower is closed.
Air travel turbulence. Coming up here on the Sunrise Show, how the government shutdown is impacting flights. And later.
On this grim 2-year anniversary of the October 7th Hamas terror attacks in Israel that touched off a devastating war in Gaza, there is finally hope that peace could be near. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, we'll have the very latest on negotiations.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The now week-long government shutdown is causing delays for travelers. In California, Burbank Airport's air traffic control tower had to shut down. NBC's Tom Costello has more.
Far from Washington, the government shutdown is now rippling into air traffic control towers in Newark, in Denver, and in Phoenix. Long delays due to staffing yesterday, according to the FAA. In Burbank, the air traffic control tower left completely unmanned overnight for roughly 6 hours.
We're beginning closing down the tower. Is it because of the shutdown that you guys are going? It's for staffing. Burbank Tower is closed.
Controllers in San Diego took over for Burbank, but the delays remained. California Governor Gavin Newsom blaming the president online, while in Washington, partisan fighting continues, with Republicans blaming Democrats for the shutdown.
The Democrats are the ones that started this.
As workers across the federal government, including air traffic controllers, go without pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says there's been a slight uptick of sick calls, resulting in flight delays.
If we have additional sick calls, we will reduce the flow consistent with a rate that's safe for the American people.
Duffy says he's heard from workers about their concerns.
They have bills they have to pay. So now they're thinking about that at the same time that they're controlling the airspace.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Union calls the ongoing crisis the latest example of how fragile the system is in the midst of a national controller shortage.
We do not have time to waste on the unnecessary distractions created by this shutdown. So our message is clear. End the shutdown.
The union says it's working with the FAA to mitigate disruptions, but the concern this morning, this could get worse, with the busy holiday travel season now just over a month away.
Again, that was Tom Costello reporting for us this morning. We could continue talking about the shutdown, or we could talk about the weather. I vote for the weather, please.
Really? Oh,
Yep.
The shutdown's far more interesting.
No,
Our weather's
weather.
just clear today.
Weather.
Okay, weather, here we go. I want to show you the low temperatures. Yesterday, the airport, PDX, got down to 45, the coolest temperature at PDX so far this early fall season. This morning, same conditions. The temperature just didn't drop off as much. 50 is what we're reporting. But you get out to Hillsboro, it was 43. And look at the variance. Troutdale 60. Why? Skies are clear. East gust to 30 holds the temperature up. Calm winds, temperature nosedive. So that's kind of interesting to point out. Okay, let's get you going. We have clear skies again. We are getting closer to a pattern change. The east winds will start to fade away today, later today. Tomorrow we cool down because we have a west direction. And then a low pressure system is going to be developing offshore. It'll be a big one that will park itself off of our coastline for several days. The first shower chance shows up Wednesday overnight into Thursday. Then the rain chances get far better Friday, rain at times into Saturday. Thursday's rain chance modeling not picking up on a lot overall, just some light amounts scattered here on the west side. And then the numbers pick up a little bit more impressively so with more widespread showers on Friday. And then I think we get basically waves of rain at times passing through our area on Saturday and Sunday. Still with 4 days totaled, you have on average less than a half of an inch of rain coast and valley, and some half-inch rain amounts potentially over in Central Oregon where there will at least be a thunderstorm threat. So today the last of the perfectly clear days, but we still have tomorrow's weather, which will be dry and really nice too. Here's Timberline looking at Jefferson. You can see Three Sisters sticking up. Not as breezy up here as it was 24 hours ago, but still winds at the lodge being reported as east at 22 in terms of peak gusts. It's 48 degrees. Here's Willamette Valley Vineyards just south of Salem in the Turner area. And again, we all look like this, just perfectly clear skies. Downtown Portland, the glassy waters of the Willamette, not much wind downtown. We're at 50 degrees, our low so far this morning. Kelso 45. The Dallas 41, Bend this morning 37, now starting to warm up out east. Burns was in the 20s, now up to 34. Coast forecast numbers. Yesterday it was mid-70s, 74 in Astoria. Today we think there could be 70s early afternoon into about 2 o'clock. The numbers will start to cool somewhat as winds eventually kick to the west. Out in the gorge, those gusty winds in the west end to about 30 miles per hour. Those will be easing later today as well. Hood River 36 currently, 74 your high. That's a nice warm up. Valley forecast upper 70s again today, and same thing up in Southwest Washington. Portland 78, 66 tomorrow. The shower threat Thursday, but a day that may stay dry where you are. I think most of us will see some showers in the area starting Friday. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up with the drive on the west side again. No crashes, just a really bright, sunny, and therefore slow commute. This is the live look at Highway 26 near Murray Boulevard, and the drivers are staring right at that sun all the way in past Cedar Hills, 217, and up to the Sylvan Hills. So with that in mind, the trip in from Hillsborough right now has jumped up to 46 minutes. Not to be outdone, the drive north from Wilsonville also pretty thick. Here's the live look through the 205 interchange in Tualatin. Right to left, that's the northbound commute. Obviously, that's pretty slow. And last but not least, I-5 through North Portland, that southbound commute. This is live at the Expo Center, and I promise you that's a live camera. It's live. It's just not moving very fast. 35 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and tonight at 6:30 on The Story, if you live anywhere near South Portland, you know about the helicopters circling the ice building, who they belong to, and what, if anything, can be done about all the noise. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW, or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
It's been 2 years to the day since the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th, 2023. Also today, negotiators on both sides are expected to meet to discuss the peace plan put together by President Trump. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
This morning, as Israelis mark 2 years since the Hamas terror attacks that killed 1,200 people while taking 250 hostage.
It's like an open wound. The hostages, I really can't believe it's been almost 2 years. It's been 2 years.
And Palestinians pray for an end to the war that followed, killing more than 66,000 in Gaza, according to health officials there. Finally, signs that peace could be near.
We have a really good chance of making a deal, and it'll be a lasting deal.
Israel and Hamas working through the details of President Trump's 20-point peace plan, with Arab mediators in Egypt shuttling between the two sides.
We have just about every nation working on this deal.
Under the agreement, Israel would stop the war and gradually withdraw from most of Gaza, provided Hamas frees all 48 of its remaining hostages, 20 of them believed to still be alive, disarms and leaves power. That last provision, long a central sticking point, still an open question, leaving hostage families suspended between hope and dread.
We cannot let another deal collapse.
NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel spoke to one freed hostage about the day that changed everything.
I was here on my bed, and my wife was here on the ground.
The painful months held captive in a tunnel and the urgency for those who remain.
Bring all of them, all of the hostages, and finish this war.
A plea echoing across the region and the world. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner are in Egypt and expected to join the negotiations after mediators talk through the outcome of their first-round meetings with Israel and Hamas. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
I think that was a good decision on their part.
The charges against conservative influencer Nick Sorter have been dropped after he was arrested by police outside the Portland ICE facility last week. More on his response to those dropped charges coming up in our next half hour. Plus, Taylor Swift's new concert film pulled in $33 million during its only weekend in movie theaters. We're going to let you know whose record Taylor broke over the weekend, again, at 7:30. Also, a quick reminder, this is the United Way's Community Impact Week. You can volunteer with others all across the Portland and Vancouver area all this week, supporting local nonprofits through Hands On Greater Portland. That's the United Way's volunteer program. Sign up at unitedway-pdx.org.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. National Guard troops have mobilized to Camp Withacum. If you're not familiar, that's a military facility in Happy Valley. But deployment of those troops is on hold after two rulings from a federal judge this past weekend. Yesterday, President Trump said he would consider getting around the court rulings by using the country's Insurrection Act, which would grant him emergency powers to deploy troops. All right, Rob, what do you have for us in the Weather Center?
Clear skies. Weather's pretty simple. Yesterday, I assume you liked it. It was upper 70s. We think we'll be there again this afternoon. Salem, again, the pretty fall colors along with the clear sky. As you look at the Capitol, 47. There's downtown Portland. No wind in the downtown area. In the Willamette's quiet. 50 degrees is the number. We'll be 67 at noon. I have a 77, 78 for high again today. That would equal yesterday's temperature. Tomorrow is still really nice. Tomorrow the east wind is gone, and the fact that we get a light west breeze will drop the temperature to about 66, closer to normal. Shower chances start Thursday, likely showers Friday, rain at times for your weekend.
All right, the numbers are in, and Taylor Swift stole not only the charts this past weekend, but also the box office. Taylor Swift, the official release party of a showgirl. It's a movie, okay? It's a theatrical release.
Really?
Yeah. It debuted over the weekend and made $33 million.
So I can go see this at the movie house.
One and done. A one and done.
I missed it.
Maybe that's how they build up the exclusivity around it. And they,
But the millions were not missed. So here's the deal. Swift has the #1 album. She had the #1 movie in the country on the same weekend. And Prince accomplished something similar back in 1984 at the release of Purple Rain. He had the #1 album and the #1 movie in the country.
Wow.
Back in 1984 with Purple Rain.
May I say this? It's not all happiness for Taylor Swift, though. Very sad evening last night. Her fiance's boyfriend lost a football game.
Do you think she ever says to Travis, honey, it's just a football game.
Well, I hope she doesn't say that. I hope she doesn't say that. I hope she says, dude, man, get your act together.
The ball.
Yes, I hope that's what she says. Speaking as a Chiefs fan, here's a look at our Snookwest Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. That is so pretty. Look at it. Oh, gorgeous. Mid-70s yesterday and a whole fistful of spots along the coast. 52 right now. And a chance of getting back up to about 70. There's one wind gust to about 14 being reported. Here's the Rose City camera. So far in downtown, not much wind, but you get out along the Columbia and there are gusts to 30 at the airport in Troutdale. And we have some splintering 10, 15 mile per hour breezes in the metro this morning as well. This will be a repeat of yesterday, basically. Clear skies. Big warm up, 67 at noon, 77 at 5 o'clock. I think we could hit 78 degrees for a high. Now, east of the Cascades, you folks would be a little bit warmer than yesterday and just as clear. 71 John Day, 73 Pelton, 77 in Bend. Had some frosty spots. I had that one golf course camera in Carson in the gorge this morning that shows some frost on the grass, but the Dow's 76. Hood River will be in the 70s today as well, and there are the upper 70s from Kelso all the way down to Eugene. In fact, Eugene, the model says 80 for a high. Wow, okay. Well, 78 today. That would equal yesterday. Tomorrow, really a nice day still. Partly cloudy to maybe mostly sunny. We'll drop it down to the 60s. Then we have a shower threat Thursday, a day that you may or may not see some rain where you are. The showers really pick up going into Friday. I think most of us will see some rain. And right now, both weekend days look to be more rainy than not, with temperatures struggling just to get up to 60 degrees. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take it to Clackamas County. Your northbound 205 drive from Johnson Creek Boulevard up into southeast Portland. I'll step out of the way. Let's move over here. 12 miles an hour. So that's slow rolling northbound here near Johnson Creek Boulevard. Obviously, you've got bright sun out there, too, which is especially impactful on the sunset. The drivers are right into that eastbound drivers are right into that rising sun. So that is no doubt adding to some of the slowing coming in from Hillsborough. Just shy of 50 minutes now to get you in from Brookwood Parkway. No crashes, just a slow commute with that sun timing up perfectly with that eastbound commute. The drive from Wilsonville about 40 minutes, and this is what it looks like in Tualatin, so slow and steady. We are in the crunch, the hardest, busiest part of our morning commute, and the drive times reflect that right now. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get back to our top local story this morning. It's the same top story we've had for the better part of a week, the protests that continue outside Portland's ICE facility. So this is what it looked like last night. Our crew covering the situation there estimated there was probably about 150 people, a mix of protesters and counter-protesters. Portland police say they didn't see any criminal behavior that required intervention last night, but police did arrest a suspect in connection with an assault that happened on Sunday outside the ICE facility. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office says it will not press charges against a conservative influencer outside the ICE facility. They say they reviewed video of the incident. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, meanwhile, has more for us from outside the ICE facility.
The DA's office says Portland police had probable cause to arrest conservative influencer Nick Sorter and 2 other people who were protesting against ICE after what they described as a scrum. Now, protests have been going on here by the ICE facility for months. Much of that has been peaceful. Though after President Trump called for the National Guard to intervene, more conservative counter-protesters have joined the mix, including Nick Sorter, who came to Portland from Washington, D.C. On Thursday, he was arrested. 4 days later, disorderly conduct charges against Sorter were dropped. He claims those charges were politically motivated.
I think that was a good decision on their part. This would have been a very dumb case to proceed with.
The two other people involved in the scrum still face charges. Some people at the protest say the arrival of counter-protesters and right-wing influencers only agitates the situation, increasing the chances of a conflict.
All I can say is I've had good discussions at demonstrations, but definitely when people show up with an intention to, spice things up, it definitely happens.
Counter-protesters like Sorter argue that they are non-agitators and are just here to freely express their viewpoints. Now, I want to get back to Sorter claiming that his arrest was politically motivated. We asked Bob Day about that, the chief of Portland Police Bureau. Here's what he had to say.
The reality is that we're not paying attention to the left or right conversation. We're paying attention to behaviors.
And Portland police have been watching this area outside the ICE facility closely for months, especially over the past couple of weeks. Right here, it's still pretty peaceful this morning. We haven't seen anything out of the ordinary today after large protests overnight. Along the South Waterfront, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Keep it right here on KGW for continuing coverage of the deployment of the National Guard to Portland. You can find the latest here at KGW Plus and also online at kgw.com. Back to some local headlines here. A Vancouver teenager is charged with second-degree murder after authorities say she strangled a woman to death. Court documents say 17-year-old Karma Douglas got into a fight with Chantel Trotter inside Trotter's home early Sunday morning. We have more here from Trotter's son.
She was a hard worker, a hard-headed person who put her best foot forward in every situation, always had a smile on her face, making sure that everybody around her was taken care of and happy.
We're identifying the 17-year-old Douglas because she's being charged as an adult and because of the severity of the crime. The 17-year-old's next court appearance is scheduled for Friday.
We're currently tracking a verified stolen with charges of reckless and elude.
Chopper video shows a police chase that crossed the Columbia River. Authorities say this started when a driver who's accused of stealing a car took off from a traffic stop near the airport. Portland police followed him through the air with that helicopter, and Vancouver police picked up the chase on the ground. Body cam video shows the driver getting arrested. He's facing charges that include possession of a stolen vehicle and possession of a controlled substance. A 29-year-old man is accused of breaking into the state capitol building in Washington and causing significant damage. Madison Wade with our sister station in Seattle takes a closer look at what happened.
Surveillance video shows vandalism at the Washington State Capitol Sunday night. A man crashes his car, then walks to an office window with a hammer and breaks in. From inside, cameras capture the man with one of his arms in a cast, knocking items over, throwing flags, and tipping over busts.
He tipped over all the county flags, set one on fire, went and smashed a window into the state reception room, went in, set the country's flag, the state flag on fire, set the rug on fire, set the piano seat on fire.
The state reception room now looks like this, a priceless piece of the Capitol's history singed. Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck says the damage is extensive, and this act of vandalism is heartbreaking on many levels.
The symbolism of entering our house of democracy and engaging in vandalism and destruction is itself also heartbreaking.
The man was inside the building for 11 minutes total before Washington State Patrol arrested him. Troopers credit the quick thinking of an employee at the Department of Enterprise Services, monitoring surveillance cameras, alerting them to the intruder.
With this specific incident, we're very proud with our response and our collaboration with DES. Within 11 minutes of the call to 911, to the call to the State Patrol, we had the subject in custody without incident.
We've got to figure out a way to turn the temperature down. We just have to figure out a way to turn the temperature down in this country.
Work continues tonight to repair what was broken and protect what was not touched.
They're going to get this building back to exactly where it was before this unfortunate incident occurred as quickly as possible. And that's in keeping with the fact that this building is going to be here long, 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 long after any of us are going to be here.
Again, that was Madison Wade with our sister station in Seattle reporting for us. Meanwhile, Chris McGinnis standing by with another look at our local traffic.
Let's go back over to the east side, Drew. This is live at, well, it was live, northbound 205 at Johnson Creek Boulevard, puttering along at about 12 miles an hour. So it looks like my traffic box got a little stuck. I'm going to run over here and give it a gentle kick, a little urging here to see if, there we go. Back over to the west side, the inbound Sunset is pretty slow with that bright sunshine out there. This is out near Murray Boulevard. Drivers are staring at that all the way into, well, basically the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Here's some good news. The I-5 commute through North Portland finally easing up on that logjam. We had an earlier crash near Columbia Boulevard. That's finally out of the way, but still, we're looking at about 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street south to I-405 and the Fremont Bridge. Drew, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
So as soon as you hit buy, a robot grabs the right pod to get it to the associate right away.
That's what's happening in Woodburn at this brand new Amazon fulfillment center that's nearly 4 million square feet in size. We're going to take you there after the break to see how robots at the facility are helping to get your packages to your front door quicker.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Understaffing, lousy pay. That is how your coffee's made.
That's the message from protesters outside Starbucks headquarters in Seattle. The group was rallying there yesterday over recent store closures. Last month, Starbucks said it was closing stores all across the country, including some here in the Portland area and dozens in Western Washington. Our sister station in Seattle spoke to one barista who said that announcement blindsided workers.
Downtown Reserve Roastery closed, the Capitol Hill Reserve Roastery closed, the store that I'm from, overnight, very suddenly. It's really crazy that the world really knew that I had lost my job at the same time that I did.
Starbucks is also laying off, according to the company, laying off about 900 non-retail employees across the country. Meanwhile, the largest Amazon fulfillment center in the Northwest is now open in Woodburn. KGW's Libby Dowsett took a tour to meet some of the people and the robots behind the operation.
3.8 million square feet, about the size of 64 football fields. This Amazon fulfillment center has a 30-mile conveyor system set up to transport more than 40 million items.
So as soon as you hit buy, a robot grabs the right pod to get it to the associate right away.
6,000 high-tech robots do all the heavy lifting and transport. Therefore, no need for categorizing items.
Let's say we have something that's on sale that everybody wants. If they're all in the same place, we could have a log jam with a lot of our pods.
Items come in, get scanned by employees, and placed in pods, transported by the robots. When there's an order, the processing procedure reverses.
Scans it, goes through all the conveyance, then we get it to the dock door. From there, it either goes to a sortation center or delivery stations.
The robots spin and stop short, reading QR codes on the floor. New employee Roberto Pena says he was surprised. The robots don't hit each other or employees.
Everything just went smooth. It became a routine.
If a product drops from one of the pods, it's Pena's job to enter the floor wearing this amnesty vest. When on, it creates an imaginary bubble around him. The robots won't enter.
And then once the path is set, everything will just kind of get out the way.
Dignitaries got a first-hand look at this high-tech action Monday.
We were always concerned that it was going to steal the employment from small companies. That hasn't been a real problem.
Amazon is going to be investing in the surrounding community. It's going to have a ripple effect, I think, for the Willamette Valley. This is huge.
With 3,000 people working here already, they say every Friday they're hiring more, hundreds more each week. And they say that could continue for a couple months. In Woodburn, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
All right, lots of job opportunities down there in Woodburn with that, Rod Hill. What do you have for us weather-wise?
Another great day. Could today, I ask you, Drew Carney, could today be the finale of back-to-back clear sky 70-degree days until at some point next year?
Right. Whoa, next year?
Well, it's that time of year.
No, I understand.
Give me an answer while I walk over.
No.
I'll wait for the answer.
No. We're going to have a couple of back-to-back really nice days at the very beginning of November.
Okay. Drew's actually pretty good at this. I don't know why he is good at this, but you're pretty good at this. This kind of guessing. Let me share this. I noticed this when I was looking in the record book the other day. So 90 degrees, the last 90-degree day in the record book for Portland is October 5th. Record today is still 85. The records are well up into the 80s until you get to about October 1920. And then after that, the records just fall off the face of the earth. And all of a sudden, you have some records that are 70s, even upper 60s. So we'll see. We have a clear sky day. We're watching developing weather system offshore that will bring us our first rain chance, not tomorrow, but on Thursday. And even Thursday, weather models don't show a whole lot. This is showing, well, basically, if this is correct, it doesn't show any measurable rainfall up and down I-5, but it does show some scattered shower activity in the region. Showers become more likely and widespread Friday. Then by Saturday, thanks to a big low that's parked out here that's spinning up from the south, we'll get some waves of occasional steady rain. I mean, I really think Saturday and Sunday have the potential to be raining more than not, both of those days. Rain amounts don't jump off of the charts, but they do show solid half of an inch on average, coast, valley, even some half-inch rain amounts, one showing up there in Prineville at 0.53 inches. So enjoy the clear sky. This is the end of the absolutely perfectly clear 70s. Tomorrow will still be dry, and we could still be mostly sunny. It would just be cooler. Here's Snook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 52 degrees. Coast fighting to get up to about 70 again today. It was 74 in Astoria yesterday. I love this one because we're really starting to pick up some of the fall foliage in some of our live cameras. This is the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center down Oregon City. You can see some pretty fall colors there with the clear skies up top. Downtown perfectly clear. We're at 50. So far, that's reported as a low this morning at the airport. 45 up in Kelso, 41 in the Dalles, and 41 degrees in Pendleton. Valley forecast numbers should be pretty much identical to yesterday. Yesterday it was 77, 78, 79 almost everywhere. This shows 79 McMinnville, Salem, Corvallis. If you are picking up an east wind, again, Troutdale's been gusting to 30. Those winds are expected to start falling off later this afternoon and actually flip around to the west going into this evening as the winds calm down. 77 Longview, 78 Vancouver Battleground. 78 was the high at PDX yesterday. I've got that again today. The nice day tomorrow, but closer to normal temperature-wise as we lower it to 66. Shower chances Thursday, likely showers Friday, and what I think is a wet weekend upcoming. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to take you live to the St. John's Bridge, looking down here from the very tippy top. It's tough to see. What I'm pointing at here is there's actually something hanging up the drive coming down the hill from Germantown Road to the west end of the St. John's Bridge. I don't see anything on camera, but it does look a little thick there. Not that that's way unusual there, but the drive coming down Germantown looks a little slow. I-5 from Clark County getting better. It's been kind of a slow commute from Vancouver this morning over the Interstate Bridge, but it is improving. We've got it whittled away down to about 26 minutes now to get you from Main Street to the Fremont. And sunglasses or maybe a welder's mask would be appropriate for your eastbound Highway 26 commute. The drive out near Murray Boulevard looking extra slow there in the sun glare. Right now, 41 minutes. Believe it or not, that's an improvement, Drew, to get you in from Hillsborough to I-405.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, some breaking news here just into our newsroom. U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem will visit Portland's ICE facility today. Conservative influencer Benny Johnson posted on Instagram saying Noem will be, quote, rolling through Portland. As we know, the Trump administration continues to push to deploy National Guard troops to the city. Meanwhile, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden sent us a statement condemning Noem's visit, saying in part, quote, Kristi Noem is cosplaying as a public official. In reality, she's been sent by Trump to incite violence. Again, these are the words of Senator Wyden. He says, ignore her and keep supporting the members of our community. This continues to be one of our top stories locally. National Guard troops, we know, have mobilized to a camp in Happy Valley, Camp Withicum. It's a military facility there in Happy Valley. But deployment of troops is on hold after two rulings from a federal judge this past weekend. Yesterday, President Trump said he would consider getting around those court rulings by using the country's Insurrection Act, which would grant him emergency powers to deploy troops. Nick Shorter, the conservative influencer arrested by Portland police outside the ICE building last week, will no longer face criminal charges. The Multnomah County DA dropped the disorderly conduct charges against him after they say they reviewed video. Shorter called the arrest political. Portland Police Chief Bob Day, meanwhile, continues to say that his officers base arrests on the law. And former Oregon State Senator Daniel Bonham has been nominated as an assistant to the U.S. Secretary of Labor. If he is confirmed, Bonham will serve under U.S. Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-DeRemer.
There's something everybody likes, I think. Just a clear sky October day. These types of days are actually, numbered as we get farther and farther into our rainy season upcoming. 78 today, still dry tomorrow, but cooler. Shower threat on Thursday. I think Friday is the day that the showers actually become widespread.
Still pretty busy out there on the roads. In fact, the traffic map has lots of red we still need to resolve, and the bright sunshine might be one of the problems here. Problem. We got a problem. The Highway 26 commute just staring into that bright sun. So right now, that's one of our slowest drives. It's back up to 45 minutes, Brookwood Parkway. I know. It's kind of a bummer on such a nice day.
Yeah, a lot of
problems,
people,
just slow drives.
I guess everybody's working today because you've had a lot of red on your maps today, it seems like. Yeah.
Good for us. We're working.
Hey, before we go, guys, I got to tell you about Claire.
Claire?
Yeah, Claire. Claire is a 50-pound fiberglass dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
That's back in front.
Sinclair?
Yeah, no, just, what's that?
Sinclair?
We're talking about Claire the dinosaur. Yes, back in front of her California gas station home. Claire was stolen from a Brentwood gas station last week. She was suddenly returned Monday with an apologetic note that said in part, don't press charges. The gas station's owner says he has no plans to pursue any charges. All right, can we talk about the Great Toy Drive for just a minute here? The Great Toy Drive not starting yet, but we're starting to collect toys and we need your help to do that. Now is the time to sign up to help us collect toys this year. If you own a local business, if you're part of a local organization, if you're throwing a big holiday party, you can definitely help out. Go to kgw.com/toy, sign up, and we're going to send you the official Great Toy Drive collection kit. So there you go, gang. That's how you get on board with this year's KGW Great Toy Drive.
Yeah, you can get a dinosaur, a toy dinosaur.
Yes, you can.
That's your segue.
A reminder, you can watch the Sunrise Show any day right here on KGW Plus. We're always live on Plus between 7 and 9 a.m.
Yeah.
We appreciate you watching us.